I am Desi Magnaye, Junior High School Principal of Davao Christian High School, VMAPA Campus, and CVIF-DLP practitioner for 15 years. In 2005, we decided to adopt it in our high school department. CVIF-DLP is mainly an independent learning program. If in the traditional class setup, 70 to 80% of the class period is spent on lecture discussions, in CVIF-DLP, lectures or teacher-centered activities only comprise to 20 to 30% of the class period. The remaining 70 to 80% is left for students to independently complete learning activities. We follow the 4 DLP program components. In a traditional class, a math teacher teaching 4 classes will have to be in the classroom 4 times. However, in the DLP setup, a math teacher can teach 2 to 3 classes at the same time with the help of facilitators. A facilitator is also a teacher teaching another subject whose main role is to ensure that the activities prepared by the math teacher are done by the students. With this setup, we automatically promote learner-centered classrooms because teachers cannot be in 2 places at one time. The teacher needs to prepare independent student activities, which are mostly written activities, which allow the students to discover the lesson on their own without any prior lecture. All these activities are submitted at the end of the period so that the teacher can see how much the students already know or if they have any misconceptions about the topic. Thus, their outputs are used as basis on how the teacher will proceed to the discussion to address their difficulties or who among the students need remediation. All these activities are also filed in a comprehensive student portfolio. To ensure that our students get adequate rest, we follow a midweek non-academic day where MAPE subjects are taught on a Wednesday, including other activities such as chapel hour, small group sessions, and clubs and organizations. We also adhere to a no homework policy. All these components work hand in hand in providing our students habit-forming protocols to give them signal that it is already time to learn. When the crisis was ensuing, it was expected that classes would be suspended. We were fortunate that a few days before class suspension, we were able to set up accounts for our students in Google Classroom, a common online learning platform, and inform them the possibility of using this in replacement of regular face-to-face sessions in school. We also had to meet our teachers to make sure they are familiar on how to use it. I remember requesting one of our computer teachers to give a crash course on the Google Classroom interface. Succeeding reminders and updates were done online using Messenger or Zoom because the quarantine did not allow us to meet physically. Because we have been used to the DLP system, our transition to an online platform has been more manageable. I think what is important to emphasize here is the readiness of our students to do independent learning, whether they are inside or outside the classroom. The essential things that were done in face-to-face instructions were still integrated in the online setup. For example, the LAS that the students need to learn for the day were uploaded by the teachers in the online learning platform. These learning activities are to be copied by hand, and once they are done, they submit a photo or PDF file of their work using the online learning platform. With this setup, teachers can determine if students have understood the lesson and think of different interventions that can be made for the online discussion. Discussions were usually lifted from relevant videos from YouTube or pre-recorded discussions of the teacher. Teachers can also provide meaningful feedback to some activities, which allow the students to redo and resubmit their work. Assessments had to be done online too. All these activities were carefully selected so that students can still accomplish them and learning continues. To address the challenge of internet connectivity, we had to choose activities which do not require very high bandwidth. In terms of schedule, Wednesdays were still mostly non-academic tasks, and modifications were made to ensure our students and teachers are not bombarded with a lot of activities at once, allowing them to cope better amid the health crisis. Students who have missing works were contacted. Parents and guardians were encouraged to remind their kids about their daily activities too. For the very few students who have problems with connectivity, we are giving them enough time to accomplish their work, especially that obtaining physical copies is still not possible due to the enhanced community quarantine. Whether online or face to face, our exposure to DLP rests on the principle that our students can learn concepts independently. When our students see an LAS, they already know that it is time for learning. Because of the online setup, we can say that the main teacher-student interaction happens in the LAS, which are prepared by the teacher to facilitate learning. A certain lesson can be composed of many LAS to ensure that students can learn on their own. On a survey we conducted to evaluate online classes, most of our students know that they are capable of learning independently and have put a great deal of effort in learning even in an online setup. A lot of them also said that they were challenged to learn more than expected, but this did not stop them because they feel confident about learning a new material. In the absence of regular teacher intervention, peer tutoring becomes very strong and valuable. I know of some students who made use of group chats to discuss lessons and drills on their own. Moving forward, we plan to continue with our online setup given that we still cannot conduct face-to-face classes. Changes have to be made to provide a better structure for our students in terms of the posting of materials online, better teacher-student online consultation, and streamlining of activities to cover all the essentials. Creating an online learning guidelines might also help, as well as equipping our teachers with the necessary skills useful in online learning. For students who have connectivity problems, we plan to provide them hard copies which their parents can get from school and submit in a specified time. Thus, DLP is very much applicable with or without the use of technology. In my many years of exposure to CVIF-DLP, I have always heard how it is a disaster resilient educational program because it was used in some schools in Cagayan de Oro City during Typhoon Sendong in 2011, in Bohol during the 2013 earthquake, during the Marawi siege in 2017, and many more. This year, we are all affected by the global pandemic and we have no choice but to suspend classes indefinitely. Classes have to be done at home, and with the help of online platforms, we are able to conduct our classes the CVIF DLP way. Students still write daily learning activities by hand and answer them on their own. What they were supposed to learn in school, they're able to do at home. I believe our transition to online classes have been smoother because our students are used to doing things independently. Their exposure to independent learning make them more disciplined, responsible, and task engaged. I hope more schools can look at CVFDLP as an alternative, especially that it might take some time before things go back to normal because of COVID-19. As a formal school, DLP has been relevant to us because it has proven its effectiveness in ensuring learning even in such a time as this. A teacher can teach his or her students all at the same time, and because activities are individualized, he or she can identify students who need extra help and provide the needed assistance. More than the content coverage, what we value more is developing our students to become independent or disciplined learners. When students are capable of learning on their own, they can learn anything they want, and they will not give up easily when hardships come their way.
For today, I'll be giving input, especially dun sa mga writers natin. Tomorrow, we will start a write shop proper. So you will be allowed to write at least 2 LAS so that you will have that feeling on how to write an LAS. Then, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, hindi na po ako masyado nagsasalita dyan. Puro trabaho na po yan. Hopefully, matapos yung material at nandyan yung taga LRMDS, makita niya at sana mo ma-appreciate kung po pwedeng magamit.
Ang sasabi ko lang po sa learning activity sheet is a great help po para sa amin. Especially po doon sa mga non-IP teachers. Kasi even they are not speakers, may translation doon yung answer sheet kanina. So, madali nilang naintindihan kung ano ang ipapagawa nila sa mga IP pupils. Para naman sa mga pupils, madali din para sa kanila kasi kung reader na po sila, madali nilang maintindihan yung kung ano yung nasa learning activity sheet. At tulad nung kanina po, yung fast learner ko, pagbasa niya po doon sa MTB, so I think ma'am 2 minutes lang po na sagot niya lahat yung set A ng MTB.
Dako kayong tabang kini para sa grade 3. Kay naa ma-enjoy mga bata pa nga dili medyo slow pa sa pagbasa, din naa po'y mga bata nga fast na. So magamit kini sa mga fast learner habang ang mga nagapractice pa nga mga bata maka-focus po sa ilaha.
Para po sa akin, mas lalong maintindihan ng mga IP pupils dito po yung learning activity sheet na binigyan niyo po ngayong hapon.
Pagsisimula, wala kaming estudyante. So kami talaga yung pumupunta sa bahay nila. Nagsi-sales talk talaga kami. Sales talk kung ano ang kalaga ng edukasyon para sa kanila. Every year, mag-map kami, pumupunta kami sa kanilang bahay. Sari-sari kasi kaming mga pakulo. Actually, kinakailangan talagang makasustain kami ng 75 learners in a year. Kasi yun ang DepEd order namin. Bilang isang guro ng mobile teacher, dapat may 75 learner ka. Before, nagtuturo ako sa basurahan mismo, sa chapel. Ang ginagawa ko talaga, to be honest, binibigyan ko sila ng puhunan. Kasi, ang hirap kasing i-compete yung education sa pagkain nila araw-araw. With the help of the DLP, it is an individualized instruction. Student-centeredness pa, nagagawa ng mga estudyante ito na kahit walang supervision, close supervision ng teacher. It takes time to change yung mga estudyante mo. So na-appreciate nila na kahit palagi silang nagsusulat, meron ding changes. Ako yung nagtuturo talaga sa basic education nila. Nag-take sila ng elementary day pass, and after a year, nag-take na naman sila ng high school day pass. Maraming pumasa actually, sir. Sa akin, ang elementary ko 15 ang nag-take, 15 ang pumasa. Sa high school, if I'm not mistaken, siguro mga 33 ang nag-take, 30 ang pumasa. After marami nang pumasa, hindi na kami nagbahay-bahay na ngayon dahil sila na pumupunta sa amin. So yun ang advantage. Pag marami ka ng product, sila na nag-i-enroll ng kanilang sarili.
Gustong-gusto ko talaga magpatuloy ng pag-aral kasi marami po talaga akong pangarap eh. Hindi mo masasabi na huli na lahat kasi meron pang paraan para mapagpatuloy ka mag-aral. Message ko lang kang ma'am, kahit mga makulit kami, minsan may ingay, ang akin lang, wag kang mag-give up, ma'am, sa amin. Kasi hindi kami nandito kung wala ka. Saka ikaw lang talaga yung nakakatulong sa amin para mapatuloy namin yung pangarap namin.
Palagi kong sinasabi sa mga estudyante ko na ang kahirapan ay hindi hadlang sa pagkakaroon ng katuparan ng inyong mga pangarap. Ang mangguro ay handang tumulong sa kanila with all open hearts and all open hands. Meron na ring mga bagong teknolohiya at mayroong mga teknik ang guro ngayon na mas mapapagaan ang kanilang pag-aaral. So why not pursue and complete their education para naman maiba ang kanilang mga estado ng pamumuhay. Ang pag-aaral talaga ang naging isang solusyon. Hindi mo makikita ito sa isang idlap lang, pero pag nakapagtapos ka na, maraming mga oportunidad na maibibigay sa iyo.
I am Mr. Renato Jr., the District House Coordinator of Bacnotan District. The DLP was used in the Division of La Union after the seminar happened last August 2019. So we use the DLP because we all know that it is very useful in part of the teacher and for the learners. Because when we are using the LAS or the learning activity sheets, we use it in our learners and they can appreciate it even they are engaging in different part-time job or house chores that they need to do habang sila ay nag-aaral. So pwede nilang hatiin ang kanilang oras sa pag-aaral at sa kanilang mga gawain o panghanap buhay. Because through DLP, we are using the LAS. Sa LAS, makikita natin na kahit hindi na kailangan, kahit hindi na i-explain ni teacher ang mga activity, they can learn by their own. Kailangan lang nilang basahin, kailangan nilang intindihin yung mga nakasulat sa learning activity sheets. So, once na naintindihan na nila ito, they can answer the given question written on the LAS. House is in informal setting. So bihira rin po sa amin yung formal setting na talagang nagkaklase yung buong klase. So ang house po kasi is pumupunta kami sa mga barangay before at doon kami nagkaklase sa mga barangay hall nila. So meaning to say walang mga formal classes. Ang setting po namin is laging informal. But about the interaction, so of course, kakaiba naman po yung interaction ng bata ng oral at ng online. Kasi ang nangyari na nga po sa amin noon is just sending LAS to them. Wala nang interaction. They can only answer the LAS and I think it's too much enough for them to understand the lesson. Kasi kompleto naman po kung titignan niyo yung mga LAS namin. Kompleto naman po doon. Kahit sabi ko nga, kahit hindi na explain ni teacher, they can easily understand the given short explanation and they can answer by their own the given questions. Yes, we conducted online classes, but through our messenger only. We don't have yet the page or talagang source from internet. But through the use of LAS, napadali talaga yung activity ng mga bata na kailangan namin i-submit for the regional because nakaprepare na nga kami ng mga LAS, mga ready-made LAS na ginawa na namin before pa. So kaya medyo hindi kami nahirapan that time na nagkaroon ng pandemic. Ito yung naging isang problema namin noon kasi may mga bata na that time hindi makapag-submit kasi nagawa naman ng mga paraan para makahabol sila sa mga lessons. So, as what I said a while back, nagsisend kami ng mga LAS sa mga messenger, and then in return, they picture the outputs and then send to our personal account. So, ganun po ang nangyari. So, doon naman sa mga hindi nakapag-submit ng mga requirements, so nag-create kami ng mga learning activity sheets para send sa kanila or yung ang nakipag-coordinate na kami sa mga barangay checkpoint ng bawat barangay. So, iniiwan namin sa kanila doon and then personal na inihatid sa kanilang mga tahanan. So, ganun din yung mga outputs. Iniiwan nila sa mga barangay checkpoint and then pag sinabi namin na i-collect na, so dinadaanan namin doon sa mga barangay checkpoint. As a teacher of ALS, hindi ako masyadong doon sa online class. Kasi sabi nga namin, hindi lahat ng bata is capable na bumili ng mga gadgets, bumili ng mga loads, magpakabit ng mga internet. Lalo na nung time na yun, wala silang pagkakakitaan. Kasi mostly ng mga ALS learners kasi mga nagtatrabaho. May mga kanya-kanya na pinagkakabalahan. So, nung time ng napaka-strict na walang makakalabas, so hindi sila nakakapagtrabaho. Hindi sila kumikita ng pera. So, talagang pahirapan sila makapag-load. Our plan is to print more LAS for our students, and we are thankful for our LGU because even wala pang pandemic, talagang they are very supportive. Kapag ng La Union, LGU is very supportive for printing of our LAS. But this time, of course, mas lalo na siguro 100% ang support ng LGU. About online classes, maybe it is hard for them because alam natin na yung mga bata ng ALS, yung mga learners ng ALS, they are not capable to buy gadgets. They are not capable to buy loads or connection of internet. So talagang I really suggest na it is better to use LAS na DLP and LAS for learners. So, it's very relevant, the DLP, lalo na ngayon na nasa pandemic tayo. I'm sure and I can prove that DLP is very useful this time kasi yun nga yung more on learning activities na kailangan ng bata.
Good day, everyone. I'm Christy Gomez, currently the school head of Balanti High School, and we are Dynamic Learning Program implemented. For me, the Dynamic Learning Program is a good innovation when it comes to teaching and learning process because it lessens the work of the teacher, but at the same time, it develops the totality of the learner, wherein they become independent learners. Upon learning about this dynamic learning program, napag-isipan po namin kasama yung tatlong teacher ko sa high school na kung i-adapt ba namin itong dynamic learning program ito. Kasi po, as we all know, yung mga parents at saka yung mga teachers and also the learners, sanay po sila sa traditional way of teaching. Pero dahil po sa kakulangan ng guro at saka ng mga aklat, naisipan po namin na bakit hindi namin gamitin. Yung work ng teacher is gumawa lang siya ng learning activity sheets na kung saan pag nakagawa na siya, yun na ang magiging lesson plan niya. At yung mga bata naman, yun na rin po yung sasagutan nila at doon na sila magpo-focus. So sa katagalan po ng paggamit namin, nasanay na rin yung mga bata. At pati yung kanilang writing ability ay na-develop. Pati rin po yung pagkakaroon namin ng MAPE Day, dito po nahasa yung ability ng mga bata. May mga bata na nagkaroon ng interest sa music, sa dance, meron din sa sports, na kung saan sumasali na po kami sa mga sport events ng division at nananalo naman po sila. At pagdating po sa program sa school, yung mga dating mga bata na nahihiyang mag-perform sa harap ng mga kapwa nila estudyante at mga magulang, nakakapag-perform na po. Since gumamit po kami ng DNP from second quarter na last school year 2018-2019, so nakita naman po namin yung comparison when it comes to academic ng mga bata. May mga bata na sa first grading wala lang. But upon doing the DNP, nakita naman namin na naging achievers sila. So, masasabi ko na malaki din yung naging impact ng DNP sa mga bata dito sa Balagtas School. Dahil nga po nagkaroon tayo ng pandemic crisis na ganito, naisipan ko din po na gamitin din ang DLP sa Balagtas Elementary School. Dahil nga po modular yung teaching and learning process na gagamitin namin, so maganda po ang DLP sa palagay ko po. And ang naiisip ko pong gawin dito is i-meeting yung mga parents muna bago namin i-implement ito para ipakilala naman namin sa kanila ang dynamic learning program. Since nakikita naman nila yung kinalabasan nito sa high school, siguro naman po mai-encourage sila na gayahin din ito. At tulungan din nila yung kanilang mga anak na sumagot sa mga learning activity sheets na ipapadala namin sa mga anak. Sa paggamit po namin ngayon, ngayong new normal ng dynamic learning program, malaki po ang maitutulong sa amin ng mga magulang sa pag-guide sa mga bata sa paggawa ng kanilang learning activity sheets. So since hindi naman po expert yung mga parents natin sa paggawa ng activity sheets or yung pagsagot dun sa mga activities na yun, pwede po nilang i-guide yung kanilang mga anak sa paggamit ng internet. Pwedeng gamitin ng mga magulang upang ma-monitor nila yung kanilang mga anak ay yung tinatawag po nating learning activity monitoring sheet na kung saan nakalista po dyan yung mga learning activity sheets na ginagawa ng kanilang mga anak at matututukan po nila kung alin pa doon sa mga nakalista doon ang hindi pa nagagawa ng kanilang mga anak. Sa barangay naman po, pwede po namin ipakilala din sa kanila ang dynamic learning program kung saan pwede din po silang sumuporta sa amin lalo na sa pagbibigay ng mga kagamitan na kinakailangan namin sa pag-create ng mga learning activity sheets ng mga bata. And also sa Department of Education po, Since hindi naman po kami nagde-deviate sa curriculum guide na in-implement ng department, so inaasahan din po namin na pwede namin ilapit ang DLP sa iba't ibang mga paaralan. Katulong po ng aming district supervisor at ng iba pang punong guro sa aming distrito.
Kabataan, pag-asa ng bayan nagmamalasakit sa kalikasan.
Maliban po sa mga magulang na malaki po ang maitutulong sa pagganap po ng dynamic learning program na to, malaki din po ang pasasalamat namin sa Smart Communities dahil ipinakilala niya sa amin ang DLP. And sana po magkaroon pa tayo ng mahabang pagsasama pa.
Excited din po kasi since yun ay bagong strategy, tapos yun, luckily naman yung principal namin, supportive din naman po doon sa pag-adapt ng program. Marami pong nagtatanong, ano ba yung bagong DLP-LES? So, kailangan pa din po namin i-explain. And then, pati na po din sa mga students po namin na ano po itong bagong approach na ito. Doon sa parallel scheme, ang ginawa namin parang multi-grade. Habang nag-i-explain po ako sa grade 3, yung grade 4, gumagawa sila ng learning activity sheet. Traditionally, parang yun, chismis doon, chismis dito, tapos palibot-libot. So, nang dumating yung DLP-LES, within 40 minutes, matapos o hindi matapos, kukunin na yan. So, pag kakuha na nila ng learning activity sheets, upo na kaagad, sulat na
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I invite you to let your hearts be broken with the things that break the heart of God. Let us pray. Panginoon, maraming salamat pagkakataon na ito na kami ay makapagsama-sama dito sa CVIF Dynamic Learning Program. Alam po namin na hindi maayos ang aming panahon ngayon, pero po thank you because you are in control of everything that's happening. Heavenly Father, you are almighty and all glory belongs to you. Thank you for allowing us to reach day 3 of the CVIF Dynamic Learning Program web forum. Thank you so much for joining us in that prayer. And sana ho, kapit-kapit tayo natapusin itong CVIF Dynamic Learning Program Day 3. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the last day of the Dynamic Learning Program web forum. I'm David Rioferio, your host. To those who have been with us since Wednesday, thank you for tuning in. And to those who are just tuning in today, we welcome you. We are overwhelmed by the support we are getting. Maraming salamat po. Just yesterday, the video of our day 2 session garnered almost 120,000 views. People were excited as we got over 3,000 comments, and right now, it has more than 500 shares via Facebook. For our third day, we are happy to share that we are being watched all across the Philippines as we get warm greetings from our viewers from the Catholic School of Noveleta, Cavite, Jose Singson Elementary School in Vigan, Rojas Central District, Palawan, Kinabagan National High School, Oriental, Mindoro, Jacob Institute of Science and Technology in Cebu, Buena Suerte Elementary School, Aklan, Katikugan Elementary School, Negros Oriental, Dampigan National High School, Samar, Tinigban Integrated School, Capiz, Faculty of Davao Christian High School, Balanti High School, Interlac, teachers of Hagna High School, Bohol, DepEd Lapu-Lapu City Division, SDO Tagbilaran City, Region 6. We are also glad to share with you that we are being watched in Mindanao. Maraming salamat sa ating mga participants mula sa Balawan National High School, General Santos, Division of South Cotabato, Diego H. Patigayon National High School, Lanao del Norte, Lagayan National High School, Sultan Kudarat, Kidapawan National High School, Tabayo Elementary School in Zamboanga del Norte. Kasama rin po dyan, syempre, ang ALS Division of La Union, ang ALS Division of Cagayan de Oro, ang ALS Division of Caramuan District, ALS Division of Bukidnon, and ALS Division of Valencia City. At syempre, we want to greet our partners, DepEd Division of Bohol and DepEd Division of Cebu. And hello to all the thousands of viewers right now across the Philippines and around the world. We are broadcasting live via Facebook at DepEd Philippines, Dynamic Learning Program, Smart Communities. Now you know, Gabay Guro, Yellow Boat of Hope Foundation, PLDT Smart Foundation, World Vision Philippines, and Dynamic Learning Program YouTube channel. To recap, day 1 we learned about the Dynamic Learning Program, how it works in different scenarios, and the roles of stakeholders in the ecosystem. Day 2, we heard the best practices from schools that have adopted DLP, elementary to college and even in ALS. Today, we will learn more about the learning activity sheets and how to align them with the most essential learning competencies. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge the partners of CVIF Dynamic Learning Program. Hindi ho kami magsasawang pasalamatan kayo. Department of Education, AHA Learning Center, Gabay Guro, PLDT Smart Foundation. Now you know. Save the Children, SMART, World Vision Philippines, Yellow Boat of Hope Foundation, and all the public and private schools and ALS communities that are already implementing the Dynamic Learning Program. Maraming salamat po. Just some reminders, you may still watch the videos of the proceedings of all 3 days via Dynamic Learning Program Facebook page. If you have questions, please write it on the comment section of Facebook. You can see the addresses being flashed on screen. To formally open the forum, please welcome the Center Head AVP of SMART's Community Partnerships, Stephanie V. Orlino.
You are. Thank you very much for your overwhelming response to our web forum and for your interest in the Dynamic Learning Program. Kami po sa SMART, we have been supporting DLP for 10 years now. And ang kadalasang tanong sa amin is, why would a technology company such as SMART be supporting an approach which at its very core needs zero technology in order to work? And it's because first, DLP develops and produces independent learners that are inclined towards the STEM disciplines, or the science, technology, engineering, and math disciplines. And for us, this is an investment not only in the future of our own industry, but also in nation building. And second, now is the time for us to all work together to ensure that no learner gets left behind. And DLP helps to ensure that, whether the school chooses to do online, on air, or even offline. And third, DLP provides not just conceptual, but tried and tested concrete solutions to a lot of the problems posed by the pandemic. Because first, and very important, it is disaster resilient. DLP has been proven to work in crisis situations, such as the one in Yolanda, earthquake in Bohol, the storm in Sendong in Cagayan de Oro City, and even the Zamboanga siege during 2013. Our resource persons have also been able to share that it works well if you have access to a device and connectivity, and even if you don't have access to a device or connectivity. Next, it works well in a face-to-face learning environment, and even now in a full home learning environment. Again, our resource persons have been able to show that they were able to continue classes using DLP even when the lockdown started. And again, it works in the blended environment as we transition back. Next, because of the LAS, learning activity sheets, and the portfolio, it provides proof that of what the students learn during while they're staying at home. And this solves the problem of how to grade the students during the pandemic. Next, again, our resource persons and guests have been able to show that it works well from elementary all the way to college, even graduate and postgraduate studies. And La Salette School in Dagupan has been using DLP with their SPED students. Next, it is low budget. In DLP, books are now optional. And for students, they just need a ream of brown paper or newsprint for an entire school year, ball pens, pencils, and one folder per subject. It addresses a wide range of students, from challenged learners, even those who are still struggling to read, all the way to fast learners. And it requires minimal parental supervision, which is important because now it dispels the concern of a lot of parents that they now have to become content experts. So DLP for the past 20 years has been consistently showing positive results, and that is why we at SMART are encouraged to continue to support it and to continue to support and promote it. And so today, the topic will be the learning activity sheet, which is a cornerstone of the dynamic learning program in the new normal. And the good news is that for schools, the Bernidos are sharing their own activity sheets that they are using for their own schools from junior high school all the way to senior high school. And this will be made available starting this August in dlp.ph. And for those who are asking, yes, it's available to both public and private schools. And for those using Smart, Sun, and TNT, when you access the site, you will not be charged any extra charges if you use your mobile data. And also, if you want to implement, after this webinar, if you want to implement or adopt the DLP, please email us at learnsmart@smart.com.ph so we can provide you some support. And also, please join the Facebook group, Dynamic Learning Program Facebook group, to get some support. And also, for the past 2 days, we've received a lot of questions for the Bernidos on the Dynamic Learning Program. And so, starting on Monday, we will be posting a Q&A with the Bernidos, answering the most frequently asked questions about the Dynamic Learning Program. So please tune in for that. So that's it. Thank you, and I hope we have a productive afternoon ahead. Thank you. I think we're having some technical difficulties. Yan nga po, maulan dito sa Manila. So please do bear with us.
Hello everyone! Salamat po, Ms. Stephanie Orlino. To refresh our memories on the Dynamic Learning Program and how to implement it, the roles of the stakeholders, and the anatomy of the learning activity sheets, please watch this series of videos.
Tatalakayin natin sa videong ito ang mga paraan ng paggamit ng CVIF-Dynamic Learning Program o DLP sa tatlong konteksto. Una, kung ang mga guro at mag-aaral ay may device at internet. Ikalawa, kung mayroon silang device ngunit limited lang ang internet. At ikatlo ay kung walang access sa device at internet. Kung may device at internet connection ang guro at ang estudyante. Step 1. Ipapadala ni teacher ang learning activity sheet kada linggo sa mag-aaral gamit ang email o Facebook Messenger o iba pang online platform gaya ng Google Classroom o Microsoft Teams. Step 2. Kokopyahin ng mag-aaral ang natanggap na learning activity sheet sa isang blank sheet of paper. Uunawain ang lesson for the day at sasagutang mag-isa ang required exercises. Ito ay dapat matapos ng mag-aaral sa loob ng takdang oras na nakalaan para sa subject na iyon. Step 3. Kukunan ng litrato ng mag-aaral ang natapos na learning activity sheet at ipapadala ito pabalik kay teacher gamit ang email o Facebook Messenger o iba pang online platform gaya ng Google Classroom o Microsoft Teams. Ang hard copies ng learning activity sheets na natapos ay dapat i-compile ng mag-aaral sa isang folder kada subject. Step 4. Kapag natanggap na ni teacher ang natapos na learning activity sheet, maaari na siyang mag-online discussion sa mga mag-aaral gamit ang Facebook o Zoom o iba pang online platforms upang i-process ang lesson na natutunan ng mga mag-aaral ng mag-isa. Kung may device pero limited ang internet connection ng mga guro at ng mga estudyante, ang ibig sabihin ng limited internet connection ay gumagamit ng mobile data kaya't di maaari ang full online classes. Step 1. Itatype ng teacher ang learning activity para sa Facebook Messenger at ipapadala ito sa mag-aaral. Sa paraang ito ay hindi mababawasan ang load ng teacher at mag-aaral. Step 2. Kokopyahin ng mag-aaral ang natanggap na learning activity sa isang blank sheet of paper. Uunawain ang lesson for the day at sasagutang mag-isa ang required exercises. Ito ay dapat matapos ng mag-aaral sa loob ng takdang oras na nakalaan para sa subject na iyon. Step 3. Itatype ng mag-aaral ang mga sagot sa exercises sa Facebook Messenger at ipapadala kay teacher. Ang hard copies ng learning activity sheets na natapos ay dapat i-compile ng mag-aaral sa isang folder kada subject. Step 4. Kapag natanggap na ni teacher ang sagot sa mga exercises para sa nakatakdang learning activity, maaari siyang mag-discuss sa mag-aaral gamit pa rin ang Facebook Messenger. Kung walang device at internet connection, Step 1. Ipiprint ng teacher ang mga learning activity sheets para sa isang linggo at ipapadala ang hard copy sa mag-aaral. Ito ay maaaring kunin ng mga magulang sa paaralan o di kaya sa tulong ng barangay ay ide-deliver ito sa kanilang bahay. Step 2. Kokopyahin ng mag-aaral ang natanggap na learning activity sa isang blank sheet of paper. Uunawain ang lesson for the day at sasagutang mag-isa ang required exercises. Ito ay dapat matapos ng mag-aaral sa loob ng takdang oras na nakalaan para sa subject na iyon. Step 3. Iko-compile ng mag-aaral ang mga natapos na learning activity sheets sa isang folder kada subject. Ano ba ang parteng dapat gampanan ng school principal guro, magulang, mag-aaral at local government upang maging maayos ang pag-implement ng CVIF-Dynamic Learning Program o DLP. Kung modular ang paraan na gagamitin ng paaralan sa pagpapadala ng learning activity sheets sa mga bata, kailangang maghanda ng mga printer o copier at mga papel upang maiprint ang mga learning activity sheets. Kailangang i-orient ang mga magulang ukol sa CVIF Dynamic Learning Program o DLP at sa prosesong gagamitin sa pagtuturo ng mga guro at pag-aaral ng mga mag-aaral kasama ang susundang class schedule ng mga bata. Kailangan ding makipag-ugnayan sa barangay sa reproduction ng mga activity sheets at sa pagpapadala ng mga ito sa mga tahanan ng mga mag-aaral. Para sa mga guro, kailangang ihanda ang mga learning activity sheets na aligned sa Most Essential Learning Competencies or MELC na ipapadala sa mga mag-aaral kada linggo. Kung modular ang gagamiting paraan, kailangang i-print ang mga learning activity sheets kada linggo para sa bawat mag-aaral at siguraduhing makakarating ang mga ito sa kani-kanilang mga tahanan. Magtalaga ng oras kung gaano katagal dapat gawin ng mga mag-aaral ang learning activities. At kung maaaring mag-online, ay i-identify ang gagamiting online platform, ang proseso ng paggamit nito, at ang schedule ng online discussion kasama ang mga mag-aaral. Para naman sa local government unit, kung modular ang paraan na gagamitin, kung maaari ay tulungang mabigyan ang mga paaralan ng printers or copiers at papel upang maiprint ang mga learning activity sheets. Mainam ding matulungan ang mga guro sa pagpapadala ng mga printed na learning activity sheets sa mga tahanan ng mga mag-aaral. Para sa mga magulang o guardians, alamin mula sa school principal ang prosesong gagamitin at ang class schedule ng inyong anak. Siguraduhing makukuha ng inyong mga anak ang mga learning activity sheets. Ito man ay printed o online. Bigyan ang inyong anak ng papel, ballpen o lapis at folder kada subject para sa portfolio. Magtakda ng espasyo sa bahay na may sapat na ilaw at hangin kung saan pwedeng magsulat ang inyong anak. Magtalaga ng oras para gawin ng inyong anak ang learning activity ng walang pagkagambala. Huwag mag-alala, hindi kinakailangang maging maalam sa lesson. Siguraduhin lamang na ginagawa ng anak ang learning activity na nakatakda sa bawat subject sa bawat araw. Ibig sabihin nito ay kinokopya, pinag-aaralan at sinasagutan mag-isa ng anak ang mga learning activities. Ito ay pagsasanay na maging independent learner ang inyong anak. At pagkatapos magawa ang learning activities, siguraduhing makompile ng inyong anak ang mga ito sa kanyang folder o portfolio. Para sa mga mag-aaral, siguraduhing makuha ang learning activity sheets mula sa mga guro, online man ito o printed. Kopyahin sa malinis na papel ang buong learning activity, pag-aralan at sagutan ang mga exercises sa loob ng nakatakdang oras.
Christopher Benito is a physicist who is presently the president of the Central Visayas Institute Foundation (CVIF) in Hagna, Bohol. Dr. Marivic Bernido is also a physicist who is presently the CVIF School Directress. Both of them obtained the following academic degrees: Doctor of Philosophy, Theoretical Physics, and Master of Science at New York, Albany, USA.
Okay, so David is having a bit of technical difficulty, so I will fill in. Let me start off from where he left off. Both of them obtained the following academic degrees: Doctor of Philosophy in Theoretical Physics and Master of Science in Physics from the State University of New York at Albany, USA, and Bachelor of Science in Physics from the University of the Philippines at Diliman. Both of them were also conferred the degrees of Doctor of Humanities honoris causa by the Holy Angel University and Doctor of Pedagogy honoris causa by Ateneo de Naga University. While teaching in UP Diliman, they both received the Academic Award in Physics from the National Research Council of the Philippines. Dr. Chris was named Outstanding Young Scientist for Physics by the National Academy of Science and Technology of the Philippines and was the first director of the UP National Institute of Physics. They are both regular associates of the International Center of Theoretical Physics in Trieste, Italy. Both have also been research fellows of the Alexander von Humboldt Foundation in Germany, as well as exchange scientists in Japan under the joint program of the Department of Science and Technology and the Japan Society for the Promotion of Science. They have presented scientific papers and given seminars in different countries. In 2010, they were conferred the Ramon Magsaysay Award, Asia's premier prize for service for the Dynamic Learning Program. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Christopher Bernido and Dr. Maria Victoria Carpio Bernido. Good afternoon, sir. Can you turn on your microphones? Oh, there you go. Good afternoon.
Yes.
Good afternoon. Okay, so now we'll bring in the other panelists. The Education Program Specialist in Science of DepEd Division of Bohol, Dr. Hermenilda Gracio. Good afternoon, Dr. Gracio. Good afternoon, ma'am. You're live na po, Dr. Gracio. Good afternoon. Okay, so while we're waiting for the connection of Dr. Gracio to stabilize, let me bring in one more panelist, the junior high school principal of the Davao Christian High School. We heard him speak yesterday, Mr. Desi Magnare.
Hi, good afternoon, Ms. Steph, Sir Chris,
Good
Ma'am Marivic,
afternoon.
Dr. Gracio.
Good afternoon, Desi.
Magandang hapon.
Okay. Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. Maulan din ba dyan sa inyo, Desi?
Sobrang init.
Sobrang init. Okay.
Init.
Kay Dr. Gracio, dyan po sa Bohol, kamusta po ang panahon?
Maaliwalas po ang panahon, mainit
maaliwalas. So dito lang po kami ni na Dr. Chris, Dr. Marivic at David. Dito kami sa Manila. Medyo talagang malakas ang ulan. Kaya nagkakaproblema po tayo sa connection. Okay, David, can you take over? Ayan, nawala ulit si David. So ako na lang po muna, ang inyong host, Stephanie Orlino from Smart Communications. Okay, meron po tayo mga katanungan na pending also from yesterday. So to Dr. Chris and Dr. Marivic, first question is, what is the difference between the teacher's lesson plan and the learning activity sheet?
Well, the difference between the teacher's lesson plan and the learning activity sheets is quite big in a sense. The teacher's plan is being prepared by the teacher, having in mind as an audience the supervisor or principal. So they're doing that because they have as a reader in mind their supervisors. On the other hand, for the learning activity sheets of the CVIF-DLP, when it is composed and created, the teacher should have in mind the students. It is almost like the teacher is talking individually to each student. So the perspective is different in that sense. And when the division of Bohol in 2011 implemented the dynamic learning program, one of the comments of the DepEd superintendent at that time was, well, maybe the incentive for the public school teachers in Bohol would be is that they don't have to make the lesson plans. Why? Because the LAS, the collection of learning activities, is something like a detailed lesson plan day to day, where the learning target, learning competencies of the DepEd is already being addressed to. So that's even something like a comprehensive lesson plan. So there are slight similarities, but the perspective is quite different.
Thank you, sir. So si Sir Chris mentioned the DepEd Division of Bohol. So punta naman ako kay Dr. Gracia. How did you go about developing the learning activity sheets in Bohol? Kasi noon po, hindi pa po available, no? Widely available yung mga learning activity sheets na pre-developed. Paano nyo po ginawa yun sa Bohol?
Okay po, good afternoon. Talaga po yung pag-start ng Bohol, with the assistance, of course, with Dr. Bernidos, the couple, no? Because we really had at first time, we do a lot of orientation, first from the division supervisors level, the district supervisors, then the different school heads, because in the division of Bohol, we only implemented for the secondary schools alone, not the elementary and the senior high school. So we did a lot of process. Considering Bohol is a big division, we have a lot of schools. During that time, there were only 157 secondary schools. For this time, we already have 182. So we requested, with the partnership of the local government unit, the provincial government unit, for the budget, we invited Dr. Bernido, the couple, to assist us in the crafting of the activity sheets. Because they really did not give us the sample of the activity sheets, but they really wanted us to undergo the process of how to craft the learning activity sheets. It did a lot of time, no? We have a lot of process there. We have produced some learning activity sheets, but it doesn't end there. The following year, we conducted another activity sheets. We submitted to them for correction, for enhancement, and then we submitted to them again. We always revise and improve. But then we did not say at this time that these are all perfect, because we always keep on improving. We give the feedback of our teachers as to how did they, because these are guides only for the teachers, and then they are given the empowerment. They are authorized, or they are given the chance to improve that would really suit to their learners. What is important of the learning activity sheets that we made is that the teachers are already having their own copy, no? That throughout the division, all learning activity sheets are uniform from grade 7, grade 8, and all learning activities, because we choose writers for every learning areas with the supervision of the couple. That's it.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Gracio. Sir Desi, I'm sure that a lot of those who want to implement the dynamic learning program would want to know how they're going to communicate this with the parents and the students when they do orientation.
Mhm.
So maybe you can share first what were the reactions of the parents and the students when they were asked to do the learning activity sheets, and maybe you can give some tips on how you can share it and you can inform the parents about using the learning activity sheets this coming school year.
Okay, so when we started the LP in 2005, of course, we were not surprised that there were a lot of violent reactions, especially the older students, because they were not used to copying a lot. That's why in the beginning, we were even forced not to let them copy, but instead give them printouts, which was later on we realized not a very good idea, because when we shifted to copying, that's when we realized that our students are learning more. However, it was challenging, but I think one key ingredient really was being teachers and the administrators being able to communicate this well to students and to parents. I would remember when I was still teaching, and even up to now, our teachers would conduct orientations of rules for strategic learning. Isa to sa natutunan ko kanila, Sir Chris and Mama Rivic, wherein kailangan ni-explain sa mga bata kung ano yung mga rason at mga basis kung bakit kailangan nilang gawin ito. For example, bakit kailangan nating kopyahin yung lesson? So nabibigyan sila ng rason. Hindi nila iniisip na the school is letting us do this kasi pinapahirapan nila tayo, or hindi ito pinapagawa ng school dahil si teacher walang prepare na lesson, for example. So kung alam nila yung mga reason na yon, mas nagiging open sila kung bakit nila kailangan gawin ito. And one of the things that we would also do is to conduct this orientation even to teachers to remind ourselves of the basis. That's why for parents, we do the same thing. I guess what I want to point out here is the clear communication between the school and the stakeholders so that they'll be able to understand, because it is very unconventional. Pinapakopya, maraming independent student activities, which is hindi yun yung mga na-experience ng mga parents when they were going to school. That's why we had to do this explaining so that it will be more clear to them.
Thank you, Sir Desi. Ituloy ko na, no? Dr. Chris, Dr. Marivic, bakit kailangan bang kopyahin ang learning activity sheets? Lahat ba ng nakalagay sa activity sheet kailangan kopyahin as is ng mga bata?
Copying is a very important component because there are a lot of scientific studies in the past 10 years which show that copying by hand is superior to even keyboarding using the laptop. I will repeat again one of the studies. I mentioned this during the first day. There was a paper which appeared in Psychological Science by the authors Mueller and Oppenheimer.
Sir, excuse me, can you move closer to the mic?
Yes.
All right, thank
Okay.
you.
So I was talking about the scientific studies which shows that the handwriting, copying by hand, is good for retention, understanding, comprehension, and even analysis when it comes to a certain topic. And there was a study by Mueller and Oppenheimer. It involved 300 students from Princeton and University of California, Los Angeles. And the result was that comparing two groups, one doing the copying and one doing the keyboarding, that indeed writing by hand is superior. That's only one of the many studies, and there are studies ranging from kindergarten, young children, all the way to university students, which proves that handwriting is important in learning. So this component of the dynamic learning program is already incorporated. It's automatic in the CVIF DLP. Now, that's from the learning point of view. So even without pandemic, we already incorporated the writing. But now, in the new normal, during the pandemic, that writing by hand actually assumes a more important role. For example, during the pandemic, we are often asked, what is the guarantee that the students are learning? That's question number one. Question number two is, how can we assess our students when they are at home and there's a lockdown? So those two questions, what's the guarantee that the students are learning? And the second question, how do we assess them, is answered by this writing. Because writing, in terms of assessment, if you are only thinking about midterms or finals, and then you discover that the students failed, it's too late. 2 months have already been wasted. A semester has already been wasted. So it's too late. But if the students copy every day, every subject, page by page, then actually that those pages, when once collected and returned to the subject teacher once a week, can be assessed. So there's a daily assessment of the progress of the students, and the writing, the learning activity sheets that are copied by hand is also a guarantee that the students are also learning. Remember that if you just do lecturing, and I often say this, that for decades teachers have been lecturing, but then we did very poorly in the PISA, in the Program for International Student Assessment. Now, if you rely on Zoom or Google Meet for lecturing, it is a worse scenario. And moreover, there are a lot of children who do not have connectivity. So the writing by hand is a guarantee that the students are learning. The writing by hand is also the form of assessment for the teachers every week, with or without midterm, maybe because of the pandemic conditions.
Ma'am Marivic, you want to add anything?
No, well,
Okay.
what came to my mind is that although the pandemic emphasized the need for this writing by hand, and Chris mentioned that there are now studies within the past 10 years. When we introduced the DLP in 2002, it was really just by gut feel, by intuition and from personal experience and the observing students in the Philippines, in Germany, in Japan, in the US, in other countries, observing how they would learn. So we were very happy when the scientific studies validated what we designed for the DLP, because from the beginning, we wanted to have high performance levels for our students. That's all I wanted to say.
Maybe I could add a little bit. For those schools who are already implementing the DLP, that's no problem, because they know that there's going to be a lot of writing. But for those schools who would be new to the DLP, or who are not intending to adopt the DLP, I'm sure that whether they like it or not, they will be sending materials to the students. Now, teachers, the subject teachers, should visualize the student, an individual student at home, looking at the material that you sent. Now, if the subject teacher is sending a material which would require lecture, that means these are materials which have been there for the past decade and which have been used by teachers in a traditional manner. If the material requires a lecture, then I think that's bound to fail. That's really bound to fail. If it failed in the traditional setting where the teachers are allowed to lecture 100% of the time, if it failed there, then those materials would also not be effective. So maybe for those who would like to send materials, aside from visualizing the effect on the student, try to compose these learning activity sheets such that there's only one concept per page, and normally we have the title and the target and short concept notes, so that it would be digestible to the student.
Thank you, Sir Chris. Actually, I was going to ask that because there's a lot of questions on how you can teach complex tasks using the learning activity sheets, but you answer that you have to break it down into simpler activities. And my appreciation is that when the students do learning activity sheets, it's 100% feedback from all of the students immediately. We have a question from Facebook for Dr. Gracio. Curious lang po ako kung paano mag-conduct ng classroom observation tool ang aming mga school heads sa ganitong platform ng pagtuturo. From Agnes Clapano of ALS Sinakaban, Misamis Occidental. Sige, Dr. Gracio.
Siguro po kasi, thank you for that question. Mangyayari po kasi sa ngayong pandemic, wala po tayong classroom. Kasi nasa home po ang mga learners, di ba po? So, ang pinaka-basis po ng ating mga principal or yung master teacher or the head teacher to monitor on the accomplishment of the learners as well as the teacher is the portfolio, the submission of the portfolio as to what competencies have been tackled, is that within the budget of work, something like that. Not necessarily in the classroom setting. It should be the activity sheets, the answers, or how far have the learners responded in the activity sheets. That is for my opinion po.
Thank you, Dr. Gracio.
Thank you.
Sir Desi, you have anything to add to that? Ganon din po ba sa inyo, sa Davao Christian?
Yes, I think one of the things that I want to emphasize here, the beauty of the dynamic learning program is observation or evaluation becomes non-invasive. So anong ibig sabihin ko na non-invasive? In a traditional classroom observation, ang nangyayari is a teacher is told when the master teacher or the principal will enter the class. And of course, you will do everything to prepare for that one-day observation. And most of the time, if not always, it goes well. In DLP, while there are still classroom observation, mas binibigyan ng weight yung daily activities na binibigay sa bata. Ibig sabihin nito, just by looking at the learning activity sheets, pwede nating makita from the beginning until the end kung natatakal lahat ng lessons, if the complex lesson is broken down into simple activities that can be seen in the submission of the teachers. So I think as someone who is tasked to evaluate teachers, I would spend more time making sure that the learning activities that we provide our students are okay. And that's why evaluation becomes different in that aspect.
Sir Desi, thank you. Ituloy mo na. The question looming in every teacher's mind today is how are you aligning your learning activity sheets to the MELC or the most essential learning competencies? Ano po yung process ninyo sa Davao Christian?
Okay. So, syempre we follow the DepEd K-12 curriculum. And because of the new normal, naglabas ang DepEd ng MELCs or most essential learning competencies. Ang laging naalala ko pag nagra-write shop tayo sa DLP is meron kasing misconception ng ibang teacher na pag sinabi mong most essential learning competencies ay magbabawas ka lang para mas konti yung i-discuss mo. I think what is important here is I think I can summarize it in 2 or 3 questions. Number 1, ano yung pinaka-importanting lessons na kailangang matutunan ng bata for that school year? At kung na-pinpoint na natin kung ano ang pinaka-importanting lessons, what learning activities can we have in order to reach that required competency? Pangalawa is ano yung mga lessons na pwede nating ituro sa subject natin so that there is built-in review. Anong ibig kong sabihin po dito? For example, I'm teaching physics and I teach the 4 kinematic equations. Habang tinuturo ko yan, pwede kong gamitin ang lesson sa math na equations para ma-strengthen yung math skills ng bata. So kahit nasa physics class kami, natututo pa rin sila ng math at nare-reach pa rin nila yung competency na kailangan nila. Pangatlo ay ano dapat yung ma-master, what are the lessons that need to be mastered this school year. So when I was revising my physics syllabus, those are the questions that I would always think about. So that once I see the MELCs, I can think of activities that I can have so that we can reach the required competency. And that's how we do it in Davao Christian High School. And I'm sure in many schools as well.
Thank you, Sir Desi. Sir Chris, Mama Ribic, may dadagdag po kayo doon. In CVIF po, may iba pa po ba kayong strategy to align the activity sheets to MELC?
Well, dahil maraming nakikinig, sasabihin ko na parang yung karamihan siguro sa ating mga nanonood ngayon, mahirap po sundan yung learning competencies, lalo na itong most essential learning competencies. Pero pagsisikapan po rin po natin itong masunod, itong mga learning competencies. Medyo pinag-aaralan ko po namin ni Chris, no? Talagang pinag-iisipan namin ng malalim kung paano ito maisagawa. Of course, we already have learning activities at CVIF. We have been using them, revising, enhancing, consolidating. Kaya lang, dahil medyo iba yung condition ngayon, yung sinasabi namin ibibigay namin, ito-turn over namin sa SMART through Ms. Steph, ang talagang gusto po namin mangyari ay unang activities pa lang, parang nililigawan rin natin yung mga bata. Dapat unang activities pa lang, makita na nila na kaya nilang gawin. Kasi medyo iba po yung kondisyon. Yan po yung gusto naming mangyari. Ibig sabihin, yung mga ginagamit namin na activities, LAS, sa mga nakaraang mga taon, yung umpisa, siguro marami nun, magagamit pa rin ngayon, pero medyo iibahin natin yung umpisa, iibahin natin ng konti, at yun na nga, dapat medyo angkop sa MELCs o sa most essential learning competencies ng DepEd. Ngayon, kung sa pagtingin naman namin na medyo may mga learning competencies na medyo mahirap o hindi masyadong akma dun sa grade level, kung babasahin natin yung MELC, ang gagawin po namin, medyo i-adjust natin to. Or ang gagawin natin, parang yung sinabi rin ni Sir Chris, kung medyo mataas po yung learning competency at yung grade level at yung pag-intindi po natin kung paano natututo yung bata na halimbawa grade 2 o bata na grade 8 o bata na grade 11. Kasi mga minor pa yan. Iba po mag-isip ang grade 2, iba pa ang sa grade 8, grade 7, grade 10. So ngayon, ima-match natin ngayon yung learning competencies, yung most essential learning competencies. At kung medyo mataas po yung MELC, at gusto ko makiusap sa DepEd na pag-usapan pa rin natin yan, pero kung sakasakali po na mapilitan tayong sundin ito, ang gagawin natin yun po, yung maliliit po na hakbang o maliliit na baitang, titingnan natin talagang, kumbaga hihiwa-hiwain natin itong learning competencies na to para hindi po mahirapan ng mga bata. Dahil maraming mga bata na may phobia sa math, tulad niyan, tinitingnan ko yung MELC. Sa tingin ko po, medyo mahihirapan yung maraming mga guro natin, mga teacher natin dyan sa math. Kung ang ituturo natin, for example, halimbawa lang yung mga mental subtraction ng 3-digit numbers. Isang learning competency po yan, grade 2, grade 3. I-mentally subtract 3-digit numbers. Palagay ko po kahit magharang kayo dyan ng isang adult, medyo matitigilan po yan. Lalo na po itong grade 3 o itong grade 2, kawawa naman po yung bata. So para sa amin, yan, makukuha yan kung day-to-day, step-by-step, magsusulat muna yung mga bata at hindi kinakailangan na mag-subtract mentally. So maraming ganon, Ms. Steph, no? Marami kaming adjustments. Ang dinadasal lang po namin, pinagsisikapan po namin at pinag-iisipan ng malalim para naman kahit pandemic, maganda yung resulta natin na yung mga LAS ay piling-pili po para talagang akma, hindi sa learning competencies, kundi ang napakahalaga, kailangan akma yung LAS sa kapabilidad ng ating mga kabataan. Kasi oras na hindi po ito akma, sira agad yung pagkatuto ng mga bata at kung nawalan man sila ng self-confidence at wala nang bilib sa sarili, dadalhin po nila yan hanggang college. Kaya nga hanggang ngayon may mga college professor, mga kaibigan po namin sinasabi, ano ba yan? Malaking universidad, Ateneo de Manila, sasabihin, freshmen, hirap na hirap sa math, hirap na hirap sa English. Ano ang nangyari? Dun po sa basic education. Kaya yun, Ms. Steph, baka humaba pa yung aking sasabihin. Tingin na po ako.
Okay, meron po tayong question dito. Medyo pare-pareho po yung kanilang question. For the Bernido siguro, pag kinopya po ang learning activity sheets, ibig sabihin po ay hindi susulatan yung learning activity sheets. Will the students give back the blank LAS to the teacher after they are done copying from Shali Rebolido Damalig. Ay, sundan ko na po kasi mukhang pare-pareho yung tema. Yung LAS po ba ay hindi pwedeng sagutan, kaya required ang learners na kumopya from Placano Genas. Yun, kasi I think nanggagaling sila sa parang mukhang ang tingin sa activity sheets ay worksheets na parang sa workbook na sasagutan. So ano po ang paglilinaw?
Ang LAS po, hindi po siya workbook style. We actually avoid the workbook style. Kasi bawal sa amin yon. Kasi kung sagot lang, hindi mo alam kung tinuruan lang sila ng kuya nila or tumawag sila sa... Hindi, walang guarantee that the student learn if it's just purely answer in a workbook style. Remember, we always want a guarantee that the students are learning. Kaya po, ang hindi workbook, ang LAS style is really copying. Kung merong yung blank sheet po, ang purpose po ng blank sheet ay punuin ang ano yung structure ng learning activity sheets. The student will copy on the blank sheet the activity title, they will copy the learning target, they will copy the short concept digest, naka-align po lahat yon. They will copy by hand yung illustration and example related to that learning target, and they will answer on the activity sheet 1 or 2 questions, and lahat po yun naka-align dun sa learning target. And it should, yung LAS ng teacher should be 1 page, 1 concept.
Dun sa katanungan din, anong gagawin dun sa ibinigay? Kasi halimbawa, yung bago po nag-COVID, ang ginagawa ng teacher, facilitator man o yung expert teacher, sinusulat sa blackboard yung activity o di kaya kung mayaman yung school, pino-project po. Tapos, ng LCD, projector, tapos kokopya po by hand ang mga bata. Ngayon po na may COVID at may quarantine, hindi makapasok sa school, yun na po yung ipiprint nila. Kaya lang, hindi po sila dun sasagot dahil kokopya po sila sa blank sheet. Ngayon, kung maingat po yung mga bata, yung mga LAS na yun na printed, maaari po nilang ibalik sa school at magamit uli ng ibang mga bata kung pag-iingatan nila. So yung mga printed out, yun po yung ibabalik sa teacher na para magamit ng iba. Yung LAS naman na sinulat ng bata, yung talagang kinopya by hand at sinagutan, yun naman yung for assessment purposes at para rin sa bata. Kasi pag kinompile nyo yung inyong mga activities, kayong mga estudyante, kung maganda ang pagkagawa ninyo ng mga activities ninyo at inyo pong seryosohin, madadala ninyo yan kada baitang. Pag galing elementary, tutuloy ng high school, senior high school, at yung mga estudyante nga po namin, dinadala ang mga portfolio nila hanggang college. Dahil kung maganda ang gawa at seryoso ang pagsagot, malaking tulong po para maganda din ang takbo ng kanilang pag-aaral sa college. So, ang pagkopya po, by hand, mga estudyante hindi yan dahil gusto namin kayong pahirapan at hindi rin dahil nagtitipid kami. Ginagawa yan dahil sa aming pong pag-aaral bilang mga siyentipiko, nakita po namin na mas talagang matututo kayo kung kokopya kayo by hand.
Importanteng makita ng teacher yung ginawa ninyo by hand. Ibalik rin po yun, either online or through manual.
Idagdag ko lang po na kung may internet sila, like yung sa Davao Christian, hindi naman nila kailangan ipadala yung printed copies. Pwede nilang i-email. So wala pong dobleng copy, no? Sir Desi, sa inyo po, tuloy ko na kay Sir Desi sa Davao Christian, may tanong, do you still use books?
Sa Davao Christian, ang aming textbook for high school is isa lang, only for Filipino. So we don't use any main textbook. Many years already na we have not been using any books. If parents or students ask us what is a good reference material, we tell them that they can actually use any textbook that is K-12 aligned. But surprisingly, once they have compiled all their activity sheets, they actually rely heavily on their portfolios. Na I think very important also, kasi gawa nila yon. So tumataas yung sense of ownership nila and responsibility of keeping it kasi alam nila na nandoon lahat yung mga nagawa nila from day one until matapos yung school year na that will show progress of their learning.
Thank you, Sir Desi. Dr. Gracio, itutuloy natin from yung ang tanong kasi, 'di ba, ang sinasabi na ang DLP low budget kasi nga optional po ang books. Pagdating naman po sa mga students, paano po 'yon? Yung kanilang do they use notebooks pa, iba pang school supplies? Paano po sa Bohol?
Sa kasalukuyan sa Bohol, yung activity sheets po nila, yun na po yung pinaka-portfolio nila. Yun na din po ang kino-compile. Kano din po. Hindi na po kami nagre-require ng notebook.
Okay. So, blank sheets of paper pa din po yung gamit nila?
Noon, nung wala pang pandemic, yung school nagpo-provide po ng blank form na yung para magiging uniform po sila ng pinaka-template nila. Tapos, kukopyahin pa rin po nila, yung isusupply nila, yung title, yung pangalan, yung concept notes, lahat-lahat na po. Hanggang sa sagot po nila noong activity sheets na ginagawa. Ganon din po, yung one of the criteria for making the LA is that it could be one page and it could be one task or one objective for a day, one concept for a day. Enough to be done by the learner in the given time allotted po. Yun po.
Ngayon pong pandemic, ma'am, paano po yung mga papers na gagamitin ng mga bata, yung mga blank sheets of paper, sa school pa rin po ba magpo-provide o kanya-kanya na po sa mga pamilya?
Ano po yun? Depende po kasi ba MOOA naman po kami sa kasalukuyan. Kaso lang po, mag-a-adjust po yun. Hanggat may kaya na may provide ng mga guro, yan. Per partnership po yan. Pag wala na, tutulungan po ng mga magulang. Na ganun. Kasi yung nangyayari po kasi noon, yung teacher o yung school ang nagpo-provide na activity sheets. Kung minsan, yung sila na po mismo, sila na po mga mag-aaral ang nagdadala ng blank form, silang bibili sa school. Kahit 25 centavos each page, yun po ang pinaka-form nila. Para for uniformity lang po ng mga bata. Pero hindi po yun sa pilitan. Kung ang bata po hindi makabili ng activity sheets, sila po ang nagpo-provide ng kanilang mga answer sheets or activity sheets po. Yun
so
po.
Kung ano po yung pwede, no? Tama po.
Opo, dati po kasi pag-start, yung aming LGU, yung provincial government, sila po yung nagbibigay ng yellow pad. Ang bawat learner pinibigyan po ng mga yellow pads. Doon po sa pag-umpisa namin. Ngayon, binibigay na lang po sa school kasi gawa ng yung MOE. Ino-augment lang po, pinaghati-hati yung mga budget sa school. Sa kasalukuyan po dahil sa pandemic ngayon, wala man tayong sports. Ang ginagawa po namin ngayon, yung budget sa sports ay idililipat na kahit pa paano makabili ng printer, mga risograph machines, something like that. The bond papers or the materials or the inks. So they could, ang ginagawa nga namin sa kasalukuyan, meron kaming konting, kasi wala tayo ngayon, supposedly magkaklase na June. Tapos, nagda-dry run po kami ngayon, nagre-require po kami na sa school, mabibigyan ang mga learners in exchange for the enrollment form. Practice lang po para masasanay ang aming mga mag-aaral na ganito pala, kahit wala sa school, they still continue to learn. Inaano namin sa mga magulang na hindi po ito, wala po itong walang score, walang grade. Magpa-practice lang po ang mga bata. Ganun lang po. Yun,
Maganda po, Dr.
Practice
Gracio,
po.
yung mga share nyo na mga tips for other DepEd regions and divisions. Ito next, magandang question. It's about contextualization of the learning activity sheets. Maybe the Bernidos can answer. Yung mga ready-made na LAS ba ay swak o applicable dito sa amin sa Mindanao? Or kailangan pa ba namin yang i-revise for contextualization? Tanong ni Miss Elizabeth Lambohon from Lala National High School, Division of Lanao del Norte.
aming mga sample LAS, ano po yun, parang basic. Kung gusto mong baguhin or i-contextualize ng school or ng DepEd division, bahala na po sila. Bahala na po kayo. Ang amin lang na maibigay at least yung buong the big picture LAS. Kasi syempre, dapat yung medyo magagamit siya ng kahit saang lugar sa Pilipinas. Pero kung sa ibang subject, halimbawa languages, yung edukasyon sa pagpapakatao, yung araling panlipunan, gano'n, kung gusto nyo i-contextualize, maaari naman po yun. Pero syempre, pagdating sa math, sa science, universal na po yan. Mahirap naman po na medyo masyado nating baguhin dahil meron pong global standards sa math and science. So mas mainam po kung didikitan niyo po yung LAS na ipamamahagi po namin sa SMART para sa mga public schools at yung mga interesadong private schools.
So yes, pwede pong i-contextualize. Pwede po nila i-contextualize, lalo na po sa mga IT communities. Tama po, pwede po nila i-contextualize. Sir Desi, can you share how do you do teacher intervention pag dun sa mga may access to the internet and those na yung portion of your students na walang access to the internet? Okay. Ngayon pong new normal.
Mm-hmm. So, dahil sa system na ginagawa namin, our students upload or submit in an online platform. So, as teacher, makikita mo lahat ng gawa nila. And before you can give the discussion or before you think of how you want to go about the discussion, you can have a good idea already kung anong level of understanding meron ang mga bata. So, using that, for example, sa isang klase, lahat sila nakasagot at merong isang bata na hindi nakasagot. So, mas madali mong mapinpoint kung sino yon. At kung alam mo kung sino yung batang yon, pwede mo siyang tulungan. So, sa new normal, pwede tayong magkaroon ng online consultation, for example. At yan yung isa sa mga ways na tinitingnan namin na pwedeng magawa ng paraan. Kung maraming hindi pa marunong sa lesson na yun, for example, that can be a good cue already on how the teacher can discuss the lesson after they copy the learning activity sheet. So, I think ito yung mas na-appreciate ko sa LAS kasi 100% feedback. So, I'm able to pinpoint sino sa mga students ko ang kailangan ng tulong at ang sino sa mga students ko ang pwede na mag-move sa next activity because they were able to answer it correctly, for example. At doon naman sa mga students namin na may limited connectivity, we've been trying to utilize other tools, for example, or platforms, let's say, Messenger, na minsan mas madali sa kanila yon, or email, so that it will be more inclusive at walang may iwan and no one is at a disadvantage because of limited connectivity, for example.
Thank you, Sir Desi. We are down to our last question. Common question ito, although makikita rin po ito sa Q&A ng mga Bernidos na ipopost natin on Monday. Paano po malalaman na yung bata po talaga ang gumagawa sa kanyang activity sheet kung ito ay iiwan lang ni teacher sa bahay nila? From Pedro Parrocha. Sir Chris, Mama Rivic?
Oh, okay. Paano malalaman na ang bata nga ang gumawa? Yun ang tanong, no? Again, that's the beauty of the handwriting. The LAS will be copied by hand by the students, and that's a proof, a guarantee that the students are learning and that they did the LAS in contrast to workbook style.
Thank you.
Actually,
Sige po.
Pwede naman silang mag-usap sa bahay o pwedeng mag-consult, pwedeng magtawagan sa mga classmates kasi habang gumagawa sila ng LAS, yung activity po, lalo na dahil formative pa lang naman ito, dun sa pre-COVID, allowed naman po yung mag-usap-usap yung mga magkakaklase. So, pwede silang mag-usap-usap, mag-discuss habang sasagot. Kaya lang, by the day-by-day activity, yung habit forming na yon, maya-maya nakikita na rin ng mga bata na importanteng sila mismo nasasagot nila yung LAS. Dahil pag dumating naman yung assessment, mas makakasagot sila kung talagang napag-isipan rin nila yung LAS mismo. So, at saka kahapon, binanggit rin ni na Sir Desi, ni na Miss Marian, at saka ni Miss Gazelle, na napaka-importante sa DLP ang atin pong gustong makita sa mga bata, yung magisilang matapat at honesty is the best policy. Makikita nila na kung magdadaya lang sila, tibang laging sumasagot, nagdidictate sa kanila ng answer, sila rin ang magiging kawawa pagdating sa tunay na assessment. At saka kung maintindihan nila na ang LAS naman talaga ay ginawa para matuto sila at sasayangin nila yan, ang sinasabi nga namin sa aming mga bata, para yung buffet, although ngayong COVID, bawal na yung mga buffet. Pero sabi namin na para yung piyesta na nakalatag sa harap ninyo, ngayon kung aaksayahin ninyo, itatapon nyo yung inyong oportunidad, kayo rin ang magiging kawawa. Pero kung inyong aalagaan yung LAS, pagsisikapan ninyo na masagot ninyo, kayo rin ang mas masisiyahan sa kinabukasan.
So, ang takeaway ko po dito, wala pong 100%. Pero at least meron po siyang, with the learning activity sheets and with the portfolio, meron ka ng proof na may natututunan ang bata habang nasa mga bahay sila. Before I turn over to David, ang stable ng kanyang connection, I just like to share na yung marami po sa mga katanungan ninyo ay nasagot po ng mga Bernidos sa ginawa po namin Q&A sa kanila ng mga most frequently asked questions. Abangan nyo lang po sa Monday, ipopost natin yan dito sa Dynamic Learning Program Facebook page. So karamihan po ng yung mga tanong ninyo na hindi po namin naitanong ngayon or the past 2 days, I'm sure nasagot po yan ng mga Bernidos. Panoorin nyo lang po yung video na yon. So David, thank you and on to you.
Thank you, Ma'am Steph, and thank you, Dr. Gracio, thank you, Sir Desi, thank you to the Bernido couple. Maraming salamat po sa makabuluhang discussion. That ends our session on the learning activity sheets. Many thanks to our panelists again. Now, if you have more questions that were not brought up in the discussion, again, please put it on the comments section of our live event in the Dynamic Learning Program Facebook page so we can answer you. We have been getting inquiries on where to get copies of the learning activity sheets. Now, the first good news is that SMART will be able to make this available through the e-learning platform called dlp.ph. Punta lang po kayo doon sa dlp.ph. Currently, there are already activity sheets for ALS, Alive, and iPad. And by August, we should be able to, share with you activity sheets for junior and senior high school. Kaya abang-abangan po natin, ito pong coming June, July, August, dun po sa dlp.ph, nandoon po ang ating mga learning activity sheets. Now, the second good news is that for Smart, Sun, and TNT subscribers, there will be no data charges if you visit the site. Libre po yun. Kaya bisita na po. We encourage the schools in the country to also adopt the DLP or Dynamic Learning Program and to know more about it. Remember, ganito po ang gagawin natin. Number 1, send us a letter of intent to adopt DLP in your school, district, division, or region, and send it to learnsmart@smart.com.ph. Number 2, like the Dynamic Learning Facebook page and then join the Dynamic Learning Program Facebook group for updates, best practices, to ask for support, and to share your strategies. And third, visit dlp.ph to learn more about DLP. The good news is that, again, for Smart Sun and TNT subscribers, access is free. Now, speaking about Facebook, we know that this is now the go-to online platform of teachers, parents, and students for learning. Pero alam nyo ba na aside from using Facebook for social media purposes, pwede rin tayong matuto dito. We can use it for education. So to tell us more about how we can use Facebook as a tool for education, please welcome Mr. Jayton Zulweta, the founder and executive director of AHA Learning Center.
Hello po. Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. Ako po si Jayton Zulueta. Nagsimula po ako sa aking NGO, AHA Learning Center, nung 19 years old po ako. At nag-volunteer at nagtuturo sa isang sementeryo puno po ng mga bata. That was when I was 19. I'm 35 now. And I've been putting up community centers all over the country. When the COVID crisis hit, yung cellphone ko po punong-puno ng mga cries for help sa aming mga parents, sa aming mga communities na tinutulungan. This is when I realized that maybe if they are sending me cries of help, if they are calling out through Facebook Messenger, that's when I realized the power po of Facebook Messenger, when we would been able to organize and mobilize all of our relief efforts. Yung Facebook Messenger po, sa mga hindi nakakalam, ay libre. With this program po, we've been able to not only create 300 homeschool, 300 lessons formatted for Facebook Messenger na libre po na ma-download ng lahat po ng mga tao. And from our community of 500 beneficiaries in Tondo and Makati, we now have 11,000 users. Ito pong ginawa po natin sa AHA Learning Center ay ngayon po tinuturo natin sa mga teachers sa mga public schools. Kaya para ma-visualize po natin kung ano po yung ginagawa po natin at paano natin ma-integrate hindi lang yung Facebook Messenger sa inyong mga schools, pero pati na rin yung DLP. Meron ako maikli na video na ipapakita ho sa inyo.
Mula sa pagpapadala ng pera hanggang sa pagpili ng kakainin, halos lahat ngayon ay pwede nang magawa gamit ang smartphone. Sa mga panahon tulad nito, malaking tulong ang pagkakaroon ng laptop o smartphone at internet upang magkaroon ng koneksyon sa mga kailangan natin. Ngunit, hindi lahat ay may access sa mga gamit na ito. Ayon sa DepEd, 63% sa higit sa 68,000 guro ang walang laptop o computer na may connection sa internet. Pero sa tulong eskwela, pwede natin yan masolusyonan.
Hindi daw muna pwede lumabas. Paano na kami ng mga kaklase ko? Miss ko na si teacher at mga kaibigan ko. Excited pa naman ako sa bago naming lesson.
Huwag kang mag-alala, JJ. Meron tayong pwedeng gawin para makapagklase pa rin tayo ng mga kaklase mo. Kahit nasa kanya-kanyang bahay tayo. Ito ang tulong eskwela. Distance learning ang pwedeng maging sagot sa problemang kinakaharap ng mga guro, mag-aaral at mga eskwelahan, lalo na sa mga panahong tulad nito. Pwedeng maipadala ng mga guro ang kanilang mga takdang aralin at babasahin gamit ang lesson packets para sagutan ng mga bata. Ngunit hindi nito na ibibigay ang pangkahalatang pangangailangan ng mga bata upang lubos na matuto. Dagdag pa dito, karamihan sa mga sambahayan na may batang nag-aaral sa pampublikong paaralan at mga gurong nagtuturo sa mga institusyong ito ay walang access sa internet. At 71% sa mga gurong ito ay wala pang kasanayan pagdating sa distance learning. Dito, papasok ang tulong eskwela. Gamit ang Facebook Free at mga learning packets, maibibigay ng tulong eskwela ang karanasan ng pagiging estudyante sa isang silid-aralan habang nasa kani-kanyang bahay lamang. Pwedeng sumagot, magtanong, at makipagkwentuhan ang guro at mga estudyante. At dahil ito ay sa Facebook Free, hindi nito kailangan ng internet. Smartphone at cellular signal lang, sapat na. Abot kamay na eskwelahan. Samahan niyo ako at tignan natin ang klase ng grade 6 Rizal. Ganito magbatian sa tulong eskwela. Pinapaalala ng guro ang mga kailangang ihanda para sa klase, mga panuntunan at ang mga hand signs na emoticons na pwedeng gamitin. Makikita rin kung sino ang present sa klase gamit ang pag-react sa attendance check na mensahe. Pagkatapos ng attendance, ipinapahanda ng guro ang learning packets ng mga estudyante. Minsan may mga estudyante na wala pang learning packet. Sa mga ganoong pagkakataon, ibinibigay naman ng guro ang lahat ng impormasyon sa mga mensahe. Ipinapakita din kung paano pwedeng magkaroon ng diskusyon sa loob ng Facebook Messenger gamit ang mga emoticon at chat options. At pwede ring magkaroon ng mga maiikling pagsusulit na iwinawasto rin sa klase. At tulad ng klase sa silid-aralan, may pagpapaalam pagkatapos ng klase. Subok na din ito ng 10,000 estudyante ng Eskwelang Pamilya, isang proyekto ng AHA Learning Center. Isang award-winning at libreng after-school center para sa mga pampublikong paaralan sa Pilipinas na may 300 handa ng learning packets para magamit ng mga guro.
Nay, ang saya pala matuto sa tulong eskwela.
Tama ka dyan, anak. Kaya halika na, mag-aral na tayo. Huwag mag-alala, may Tulong Eskwela Teacher's Guide para dito. Kumonekta lamang sa AHA Learning Center. Tayo ang pagbabagong ating hinihintay. Let's not let this lockdown stop the learning.
Hello po. Hopefully na nakapag-visualize kayo kung ano yung itsura ng isang Facebook school. Bago po tayong tumuloy sa ating diskusyon, gusto ko lang iklaro ho na yung learning packet na sinasabi niya, ito yung COVID material na sinulat ho namin na maaari niyong gamitin bilang reference material para sa inyong activity sheet. Katulad ng ginagawa ho natin sa DepEd, ito pong material po na ginagamit ng DepEd using Tulong Eskwela is yung material talaga na ginawa ng teacher. What we provide lang po is added material that we got from the Department of Health circulars na ginawa namin pang bata. So those had COVID lessons, as wellness exercises that you can use in concert with activity sheets. Yun lang po, gusto ko lang po iklaro. So, as we start, very quick about our organization, yung AHA Learning Center. Yung AHA Learning Center kasi po, award-winning after-school program. 13,000 na since 2009. Values formation, English and Math, programming, at feeding po yung aming mga focus. We measure grades, increase in academic assessments, improvement in leadership behavior. May 2 physical center kami at yung goal namin maging resilient, independent, critical thinkers at helpful Filipinos. Yung aming board, I think there's another, wala na ho. So next slide po. Yung aming board po ay si mga education luminaries ho natin, yung mga authorities natin sa education, sila Sir Mike Luz, Father Johnny Go, Ma'am Nene Guevara. Opo, ayan, next slide na po. So just to give you a short overview of our impact in the since March 28, 2020, we have been able to reach 11,000 users. These are families, mothers and children who we've given these homeschool programs to through Facebook Messenger. We have 11,000 teachers trained in 6 school divisions here in the NCR. We have 6 hours of educational teleradio shows. So I'd like to invite my friend Desi, who is a volunteer at AHA Learning Center, and maybe my 2 idols here in the Bernidos, that they can also come in and guest in one of our radio shows. We have institutional partnerships with DepEd and very recently with DOH. And through Facebook Messenger po, not only would you be able to hold class discussions, but you'd also be able to have doctor consultations. We've had 10 weeks of free doctor consultations where we invite doctors to come in these messenger rooms where they can answer ho kung ano po yung mga problema ng community members natin and give prescriptions. We have over 500,000 distributed as aid to our families, and we have 40 regular volunteers and 1 amazing training partner. Next, please. So, ito po, I'll go through this very quickly, but I just wanted to focus on 3 things, no? Alam ko malit po yung text baka sa inyong screen, pero may 3 bagay na measure ho namin. Unang-una po, kung magagamit ba to ng mga public school teachers if they can learn how to use Facebook Messenger in their classrooms. Yung pangalawa at yung pangatlo po, actually, maraming salamat sa mga Bernidos, ay nasa-solve na po ng ating DLP. Yung pangalawa po is helping parents engage in these distance learning activities. Dahil yung DLP has minimal parent supervision, check na po tayo doon. At yung pangatlo na kailangan natin ayusin, ngayon hindi lang po sa AHA Learning Center, pero sa buong bansa, kung paano yung mga learners po magkakaroon ng independent learning. If we have these three things, I believe that we can have a sustained learning of learners to public school system in this time of COVID. Next, please. Habang, para lang klarong-klaro ho, this Tulong Eskwela is being used in different ways. For DLP, this is a copy of the part of the learning continuity plan of the NCR. If you notice the second column, in the second column, the first row, second column po, it says creation of text-based chat rooms for class discussions, learner follow-up, monitoring, consultation, and counseling. So the great thing about this, about DLP, is that we do not have to worry about instructional design as much as before. Because it's been vetted, because there's a history of success, and we know that it works in public schools, the DLP program, along with the partners, will be able to help with these lesson plan making. But what might be missing would be classroom discussions po, would be following up with your learners, would be that basic interaction between learner and teacher. These are things we can do in Facebook Messenger. Alam ko po mahirap to visualize, but many of our teachers who have taken the training were surprised with how unbelievably easy it was. It is easy po because the students are already there. Hindi na po to bago sa kanila in Facebook Messenger. Unlike the other things that are, unlike the other EdTech interventions which require a learning curve, right now we just tell the students na, well, ngayon nakipaglokohan kayo sa Facebook, but hindi tayo matututo. Ngayon po sa mga teacher, nakipag-coordinate tayo sa mga parents through Facebook Messenger, but hindi to pwedeng gawin through learning din sa mga estudyante. Next, please. I think the next slide, if I'm not mistaken, pag ganito ko ho, wala pa po, no? Is the 11,000 public school teachers trained. Now, just to be very clear po, we are not education experts. We are a non-profit that is showing you not only that this method works, but we've been in consultation during these trainings. I would like to say that we try to make at least 30% of our training to be like a town hall, where we listen to a lot of the teachers' concerns, and we understand and we hear that you are being asked to change so much. There is something called change fatigue, wherein in this new normal, you've been made to make leaps and bounds. So in this time where you have to rapidly adapt, it's important that you use simple innovations po. Simple innovations po that not only have a history of success, like the DLP, like what we're doing in Facebook Messenger, but is also, what's the word? It's also not foreign sa inyong mga learner ho, sa mga pupil. Yung pagsusulat, yung pag-notes po ay something na kaya ng pupil nyo to absorb. In the same way na yung pag-uusap sa Facebook Messenger is something your pupils can easily absorb. 11,000 public school teachers, I wouldn't say they all agree, but we've consulted with them and we find that this will work in public schools. Yes po. Next, please. Another interesting thing po in consultation, and I think I heard a question earlier on, was the question whether or not we can trust the students. I think there was a question to Dr. Bernido. Can we skip to the next slide po? There was a question from Dr. Bernido to Dr. Bernido about if we could, how can we ensure that the student will be the one actually learning, no? And I want to answer that in a bit, no? But before that, DLP and AHA follows the same philosophy of being student-led. That's a philosophy we share. DLP solves AHA's problems in terms of independent learning because yun nga ho, na we were talking about Facebook Messenger and how a lot of these things, whether it's Facebook Messenger, Google Classroom, when the student is alone, how can we ensure that the student will do the work on its own, even if he's writing down the answers, maybe there's an adult dictating, no? And DLP solves issues on parent-led interventions. AHA creates connection between teachers and parents and students. And AHA creates a platform for trust building. I would like to lump these last 3 points towards that question of how can we be sure if the student is really doing the work. Right now po, we are in the dark. As the brilliant Bernido couple said, we are trying to figure it out and trying to adjust a lot of our strategies. And while we do this, I'm in a lot of these meetings at alam ko po, I'm in a lot of these town halls. Alam ko po, the teachers are always obsessed. We're all obsessed, we cannot sleep because we're trying to figure out paano to. But instead of thinking about what these mediums lack, let me present with you an opportunity. For the first time po in our nation's history of education, we now have a front seat at the home. For the first time po in the history of education in our country, we now have motivation for the parent to be our partner in this. What DLB provides is an easier partnership than the usual distance learning. Whereas most modalities will focus on the parent being the co-teacher, what DLP does is that you have the parent become more of a facilitator, no, to make sure that the child learns. What I'm interested in this new modality more than anything else, that's not in the slide, but I think it's something good to think and talk about. Now that we're talking about these new terrains and new opportunities, there might be some values that would be worth teaching during these times. Is there a better time to teach the value of integrity towards that question if will the child do the work on its own? Is there not a better time to teach the value of education and how this is a long-term sprint where you are slowly and surely investing in yourself now for a better you in the future? There is no better time po to teach. What we offer here with DLP and AHA Learning Center's Facebook Messenger are tools that you can best teach them. Facebook Messenger in itself is a way to connect. And I'd like to end this talk by showing one of the things that we've been very, very successful in. Next slide, please, which is the empathy circles. Right now, I think the problem is, mga kaibigan, we will have to convince not just the teachers and the parents, but our entire community of these new things. Like most new things, there will be some pushback. There will be some people that will not understand. There might be a co-teacher or two that you will have to bring on board. Empathy circles po is a very basic tool. It is basically a daily check-in that you do through Facebook Messenger to not only find out, not only to keep communities engaged, as it says here, starting with students, it also allows students and parents to exercise collaboration, community, and character. With the empathy circle, we communicate because every day you're given a prompt. The children react to the prompt. You collaborate because you are encouraged to be in conversation with each other. And like we said earlier, there is a possibility to teach character. In your own communities, in implementing DLP or Tulong Eskwela, you will come across what they said earlier on as contextual problems. And the Bernido couple were very gracious in saying that this can be contextualized. Now, in contextualizing this, you will be in community consultation. And now that there is no way that you can call town hall meetings, Facebook Messenger becomes a very important tool. But katulad ng sinabi nga ni Ma'am Marivic kanina ho, may kailangan liligawan. Yung mga estudyante liligawan sa mga activity sheets, pero yung mga teachers din liligawan. No? So here's a step-by-step way of how we do empathy circles. Although the examples may be for students, these are really examples that we can do for parents and teachers. This is how we were able to create community. So every day you just do a quick attendance like anything else. You may opt to do this every day or once a week, depending on your schedule. But I think now that you are starting to create a new community, a new way, it's important to do it daily. When we started this program, we were with the community 7 days for the first month. The step 2 is you establish the tulong eskwela or whatever you want to call it, the DLP method Manila, DLP method Pasig Elementary School, ko naman. Sa Tolan Elementary School, kayo po bahala. The second step is to establish that this is a safe space for everybody. It's necessary to highlight po that you can have agreements and disagreements. Step 3 po is you remind everyone that you need to communicate and participate. Each person shares during the empathy circle will have to be acknowledged by each person present. You can use different emoticons. I do not know if you can see it here, but we use emoticons as a way to communicate, not just to react. Ay, nawala po yung slide. So you can put a heart if you love what the person said. Na, opo, ma'am. Tama po yan. Yung DLP, pwede po natin gawin, pero unti-unti lang. Pwede naman po. You can use a question mark, or you can use a thumbs up. Kung may naisip kang, okay po to, na I understand that I'm open to learning. And step 4 po is you start with a session with a quick kumustahan. Now, I understand that this seems to not be in concert with all of the technical conversations we had earlier on. But now more than ever, in speaking and in being in conversations with thousands of teachers, we have to recognize po that if we want our intervention to work, we need to recognize what's happening to the people in our community. The teacher, the student, and the parent, we are all coming from a huge trauma. We are all coming from a place of feeling very unsafe. By recognizing that first, we can figure out where the people in our community, where our people in community are, and we can figure out how we can move forward. The last po, I'm sorry if I might be running a little bit off time, is the actual meat of it. What is the question? So, sample empathy questions can be, unang-una, kanina ka nagpapasalamat. Ano yung nabago mong natutunan itong araw na to? Ito, para sa mga estudyante, sinong ang classmate mo na nakita mong sumubok? Anong bago mong natutunan sa sarili mo? Paano ka bago magsimula ng COVID? Anong klaseng batang gusto mo maging pagkatapos ng COVID? These questions don't only give you information about where they are, but it allows you a sneak peek to figure out where is my class coming from? Where are they? What is the context of this current community? So that you can strategize not only how you can implement a new system like DLP, but you can also get some insight on how well or how you need to maybe adjust certain focus of your activity sheets. Now, I'm running a little bit out of time, but I have 2 things that I wanted to show you. This is a quote from Paolo Ferreri. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Next slide po. Paolo Ferreri, who believes that education is liberation. I believe that now, more than ever, educators are being called to be innovators. I'm not sure if I can go to the next slide. Educators are being called to be innovators. And in educators, we are being asked, oh, we lost 1 slide, it's okay. With educators, we are being asked to innovate in ways that we haven't been asked to. But in talking to many of the teachers over the last couple of weeks, the worry has always been, can I innovate and how can I innovate without sacrificing the quality of my lessons? In this quote, and I'll read it po, I've gotten great comfort. Knowledge emerges only through invention and reinvention, through the restless, impatient, continuing, hopeful inquiry human beings pursue in the world, and with each other. Mga kaibigan, we're in an unprecedented education crisis. And as the Bernido said earlier on, we weren't in a very good place even before the pandemic in terms of our education quality. Maybe there's a process of invention and reinvention we have to take. Maybe we are being called for hopeful inquiry now more than ever, not just in implementing new things, but also in seeing the students, not only for what we can teach them, but what skills they need now to survive and thrive, but also in the future to lead themselves and others. I end, finally, maraming salamat po. Next slide. With something that I tell everybody after every talk at AHA Learning Center, in which guides me. I believe that we are the change we've been waiting for, na tayo ang pagbabago ating inihintay. Maraming salamat po sa pagkakataon na makapiling mga guro. Kasi naniniwala po ako na kahit man cut off yung ating mga legs, it feels like our legs have been cut off because we have been taken out of the classroom. I have seen more educators come and shine in the last few months than I have in my entire life. Even with cut legs, I will know that we as teachers will crawl and do everything in our power to teach. I hope if you are looking for answers, that you try this wonderful initiative from the Bernidos and that you try our program at AHA Learning Center. Because now is the time that we can be the change that we seek. And now is the time that we can reinvent things that might have not been working and do best by our students who need us the most, now more than ever. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Mr. Zulueta. Tandaan lang natin na every time our students and our children go online, when they use Facebook and other social media, they should be protected. Kaya naman, mas maganda na kasama nila ang kanilang mga magulang o di kaya yung kanilang mga guardians, so yung mga nakatatandang kanilang pinagkakatiwalaan para masigurado natin so that we can ensure that we keep our students, especially the young children, safe all the time. Paalala lang po, sa Lunes, yung mga tanong na hindi nasagot nitong mga nakaraang 3 araw, meron po kaming ginawang video especially for all of you. Sinagot po ng mga Bernidos iyon at ipapalabas po namin this coming Monday. Okay, so we've come to the end of the 3-day web forum of the Dynamic Learning Program. To formally close, please welcome Ms. Stephanie Orlino, the Assistant Vice President of Smart Communications.
Thank you, David, and maraming salamat po sa lahat for joining us in this 3-day web forum. Thank you to all our partners, DepEd, AHA Learning Center, Gabay Guro, Save the Children, PLDT Smart Foundation, World Vision, and Yellow Boat of Hope Foundation, our media partners, Dominguez Marketing Communications, and Now You Know, and all the media that have joined us since Wednesday. Thank you very much to our host, David Rioferio, who is the PR Manager of World Vision and a longtime DLP advocate. Maraming salamat po sa lahat ng ating mga naging resource persons at speakers for our 3-day web forum. At maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat for joining us. And most especially, thank you very much to Dr. Christopher Bernido and Dr. Marivic Bernido for the gift of DLP. Tayo pong mga Pilipino, when we're faced with crisis and when we have scarce resources, that's when we become creative, we become innovative, resourceful, and we look at out-of-the-box solutions to solve our problems. And that's what DLP is in the new normal and in education. It is creative, it is out of the box, it is innovative, and it's tried and tested to deliver 21st century skills to our learners. So I hope that you do try it out. Again, send us a note at learnsmart@smart.com.ph. Join our Dynamic Learning Program Facebook group para po matsuportahan po namin kayo if you want to implement the Dynamic Learning Program. Maraming salamat. Thank you everyone and have a good weekend.
Thank you, Ma'am Steph. Maraming salamat po. And again, thank you to everyone who tuned in. Again, if you wish to rewatch yung mga gustong manood uli nitong 3 araw na aming web forum, please visit Dynamic Learning Program Facebook page. And remember, if your school, yung mga eskwelahan na gustong mag-implement ng Dynamic Learning Program, 3 steps lang po ang gagawin natin. Number 1, send us a letter of intent to adopt DLP in your school, district, division, or region, and send it to learnsmart@smart.com.ph. Number 2, like the DLP FB page and join the Dynamic Learning Program FB group for updates, best practices, to ask for support, and to share your strategies. And lastly, you may visit dlp.ph to learn more about DLP. The good news again is that Smart, Sun, and TNT subscribers, access is free. Again, you can see the addresses being flashed on the screen below. This is your host, David Rioferio. Thank you for your time and keep safe, everyone. God bless you.